Participate, don't delegate. In Italy we did it. We used the internet and in 4 years we went from 0 to 8,700,000 votes with the 5-star movement, and today we have over 2,200 people elected around Italy with the 5-star movement. And among these we have over 130 members of parliament, 15 members of the European Parliament and 45 mayors of various towns around Italy like Rome, Turin, Livorno, Ragusa and many others. The representative democracy was probably the best model that we could have until a few years ago. But with the use of the internet and the set of tools that can be used through the internet, today participation is probably the best democracy that we can have. In Italy, we did exactly that. We used a set of tools online that today go under the name of Rousseau. And through these tools, today over 140,000 people are actively participating in the life of the 5-star movement. The name of Rousseau comes from Jean-Jacques Rousseau, a famous French philosopher that thought, if you want to know what people think, you have to ask them. And that's exactly what we do with the 5-star movement and with the Rousseau application. We get people to participate, we get people to tell the movement in which direction it needs to go and which people should be elected. Our first application is vote. People can actually decide who will finish up in the list of the 5-star movement. For example, in the European elections, we had 87,000 people that could candidate themselves, and 5,000 of these actually came forward and decided to publish their CVs, their video, and all information about them to describe them and to describe their intent for the 5-star movement. 73 of these actually finished up in the list. Today we have 15 members of the European Parliament that actually stand for the 5-star movement, that came from those 87,000 people that could actually come forward and decide to candidate themselves. The same application, for example, was used for Rome, where over 10,000 people could actually candidate themselves. 200 actually did, and today we have 29 city councillors and we have the first female mayor of the capital. Once elected, the 5-star members of parliament are obliged to discuss what they're doing online directly with the people that are actively using Rousseau. For this application, named Lex, law in Latin, we have today 250 laws in discussion with over 80,000 comments, integrations and amendments by the people that are part of the 5-star movement. This is an example of how laws in parliaments get presented with the 5-star movement. No delegation, participation. Get people participating in the lawmaking. When laws become more complex to discuss, we have a more longer system that allows us to arrive to design a complex law using the internet, the votes and participation. For example, in 2014 we discovered that our electoral law was unconstitutional. So the 5-star movement had to propose an electoral law of its own. We discussed in 3 months online what was the best model that we should adopt in Italy. And we did that getting a university professor that explained all the main points of electoral law, and we got people voting on all the main points of the electoral law and in which direction we should go. And we defined, after 3 months of discussions and votes online, the electoral law proposed by the 5-star movement. That's the way we are actually designing the government program for the next elections. We're doing it online, getting people participating and voting online. But what happens if someone wants to propose a law to the representatives that we have in Parliament? Well, we thought about that too. And today we have Lex Iscritti. That's another application that allows people to propose their law, and if voted by all the others, that will be taken to Parliament, and the person that proposed it will actually go physically in Parliament to write it out with the staff of the Five-Star Movement and present it in the Parliament. Today we have over 5,000 laws already proposed by people, and 12 of these have already been taken to Parliament. Internet can also be used to organize people. And for the people that are elected, for example, in the Five-Star Movement, we have developed a system so that they can share what they do in their town council or in Parliament or wherever they are working with all the others. So people in another town council, for example, can see what has been done in a nearby town and copy it, for example, if they think it's a good idea. To go in the political arena, you need to know things. And for that, we created an e-learning platform. So, for example, the new people elected in the town councils today have a course dedicated to them, to know everything they need to acknowledge to enter the town council. And on this e-learning platform, all other candidates, all other experts participating in the Five-Star Movement can create courses to allow everyone to share their knowledge. Last but not least, there's activism, a set of applications that allow people to participate locally on local battles and local activities that the Five-Star Movement is organizing. By the way, all this is financed with micro-donations. No public money, because in Italy, Italians decided with a referendum in the 90s to not give public financing to parties. Parties after that decided it was not called public financing anymore, but it was called reimbursements. For example, at the political elections in 2013, we obtained around 700,000 euros with micro-donations of €30 each. And we spent about half of that. The other half went to an earthquake city, a town school that was destroyed by the earthquake. Having obtained 8,700,000 votes, that converts to roughly 4 cents spent per vote. In the reimbursements that we were entitled to €4.87. That's more than 100 times what we actually spent, and they call them reimbursements. So we said no to 42 million euros we were entitled to, just because to us referendums still mean something. Don't settle for delegation, choose participation. It's possible. In Italy we did it with the Five-Star Movement and Rousseau.